Welcome to Daddy Knows Best. My name is Manny Santiago, and I'm here with Joshua Vasquez. How you doing, Josh?
Hey, Manny, I'm doing all right. What you got for me today?
Well, today we'll be looking at Chivalry Medieval Warfare. And yes, Chivalry Medieval Warfare is a game that was originally released in October 2012 on the Windows platform. It was,
That is not a PlayStation 4 controller.
no, that is a PlayStation 3 controller.
Okay, I'm just want to make sure.
Yes, I am still in the old generation. So this game was released for Xbox 360 in December 3rd, 2014, PlayStation 3 in 2015, and then for the new platforms in December 1st, 2015. So it's kind of gotten re-released over and over again, and pretty much it's basically a first-person hack and slash type of game, and right now, if you're interested in buying this game, it's at $24.99 on Steam and about $9.99 on PS3 and PS4. So if you're interested, you can go grab it and play it. It's it's basically an experience that is unique.
It is definitely an experience, and I have the longer I watch this, the more questions come to my mind. Let's start out with the graphics. I noticed that when you first started the game, there was considerable frame rate issues. Not really so much frame rate, but like texture popping in. Does that happen a lot throughout the game?
Oh yeah, every time the game is trying to load an area that you weren't in because you died or something, then it'll basically just start hitting the textures. Like it'll have your character. Oh, by the way, check this part out. This is me trying to figure out how to play this game, and I'm thinking I'm gonna be a helpful guy. I was like, oh, I'm gonna help you, man. Don't worry, I got your back. I know you're dead, but I got your back. And then I wham, chop his head off.
Oh, wait, that was your guy. So it's safe to assume that there is friendly fire in this game.
Yeah, there's definitely friendly fire, and you're gonna pay for it. And by coming out like 5 or 6 seconds longer. But yeah, this game definitely has some pop-up issues with the texture. So you'll die, and when you get revived again, oh, this guy just massacred me. And the game will basically just load you up with no textures. Oh, this is something else that I hated. I just spawned, and this guy's camping out, just on the spawning ground.
So you guys spawn based on
areas specific
where the actions are, or
areas, kind of like Team Fortress.
Okay, so if you play this game enough, you can actually tell where the other team is going to be spawning from. You can just sit there and just wait for them to spawn in.
I'm figuring out how to play this game, and I'm like, you know what? You don't want to get close to me? Whatever. Here you go. Call of Duty.
I kind of wonder what he was waiting on there.
Yeah, and then I got this guy. Like, I figured out this guy. Okay, if I do get headshots with knives, then this is definitely better. So I lost this game. This game, like I said, it's a hack and slash multiplayer game. And if this is kind of your cup of tea, the multiplayer aspect of it, then, it could be fun for some. But whenever I was playing it, I felt like the lag on it was pretty bad. And, like, here's a good example of me trying to be an archer. And every time I try to aim, like, everybody's just so jittery, like, all over the place. And they're moving, and you're like, well, what's going on? Did I hit the guy? Did I not? Like, that guy just...
Yeah, it does. For something as precise as what it looks like the bow and arrow stuff is, it looks like the gameplay is just so jittery that it's kind of hard to get like a lock on. I mean, the fact that you were able to kill that guy with the knife was pretty impressive, to say the least. But he kind of wasn't moving.
So I got sick and tired of trying to do the faster guy, and I just said I'm gonna be a tough knight. And the game's got limbs that can come off, like you saw. They can come off. And it's basically I feel like it's very cheap kills, because once you start using the berserker or the double axe guy or the double sword guy, it's pretty much just swing away until somebody falls or takes over and don't even care about friendly fire. It honestly feels like it's, you don't know if there's going to be any lag or not. So just swing away and with no rhyme or reason.
So does this game have a story mode attached to it?
It has a single player where you can play the other, the bots, and the computers with some sort of mode. So if it's like a conquest mode, then you can play that in single player instead of human players.
So is this basically the gist of the game? Is there any kind of like medieval dragons, any kind of like fantastical, or is it just kind of like source material stuff?
You know what I mean? Like this is pretty much kind of like the game For Honor that they've announced, except with not as good looking as For Honor.
How do you feel about the art style in this game? I mean, it kind of reminds me of something that I would see if I went to like a museum or something, whereas I'd be looking at, oh, this is a true-to-life model or demonstration of what it was like to live in the medieval times.
Honestly, I feel it's very bland. It's very simple, and I know that I'm playing it on PS3. I can't speak for the new consoles, but I've looked at pictures of the graphics, and I'm like, okay, well, it looks somewhat better, but the art style is still pretty boring in terms of like the areas that you play in, and it kind of feels like, you know what?
So what is going on right here? Is this like a special ability, or
as you gain levels, you actually unlock like different items that you can use, and as you saw, they were able to like do a smoke grenade, and the smoke grenade you can't see jack. So pretty much, if people have archers on the other end, which usually they do, they'll be shooting arrows like all over the place, running through the smoke.
How do you feel about the music in the game?
It's okay. It's not something that I actually was very fond of. The sound effects are pretty cool. Whenever you actually like make contact with the sword, you're like you feel the
So it's like a feel like almost like a weight to it, like it's hefty. Because I could tell that whenever your character's waving something around, it kind of looks like he's exerting some type of force. So does the sound quality kind of mimic that to where it feels like you're getting in those blows, and every time you chop off the head, does it feel
every time
good?
you finally either get a headshot with the sword or you actually make contact, you can hear the sound effect of like the tearing flesh or the swords clashing, and it's actually, as you can see here, like people are just fighting and they're just all over the place with this.
I mean, it's funny. This is kind of what I would imagine it would be like if I was like in the real times, in the medieval times, like people just kind of like standing next to each other, flailing around and waving everything back and forth, everything just moving at like a snail's pace. Like this is like almost like a real life medieval times simulator.
Yeah, it's definitely like if you look at games like For Honor that have been announced, definitely this is a much slower paced and a lot bulkier. It reminds me to. Whenever you're fighting in Dark Souls and you've got a little bit tanky, obviously Dark Souls has better fighting mechanics than this, but it's where you do the vertical slices or you do the horizontal slices, just trying to get the guy, and it's a little bit of a pain to get into it. But I tell you what, as I was playing it, I didn't feel I was getting much progress, and I didn't feel I was spending my time right with it because. Honestly, every time that you would get a kill, it would have to be because you either were just swinging around wildly. Like it's not like Call of Duty, I guess. And I guess with guns it's so different. But the game that they did the internet style of this, it doesn't lend itself to a lot of successes. But when you finally hit somebody, you're like, oh my god, I mean, that was great. But
So it's kind of like sifting through a big pile of shit looking for like a gold ring, but like a really, really big pile of shit.
Well, I didn't enjoy my time too much with it, and I played for about an hour, and I went up one level.
Ooh.
So I don't know. Obviously, I wasn't great. I wasn't the greatest player, and it was my first time playing it. But it definitely did not captivate me, and there's a lot better games out there that I could be playing over this.
So I'm assuming that this game doesn't necessarily use your time well. You'd have to put in a significant amount of time just to kind of get any kind of progress out of it.
That's how I felt anyways. I didn't feel like I was actually having a whole lot of fun for the most part. It was kind of frustrating, just strong, because the block is so, like, you can parry, but it is so specific, and with the lag, it just doesn't help. And there's a lot of frustration that came out with it. So.
Do you obviously you wouldn't be able to play this game around children because of the dismembering body parts and whatnot. Do you think it's fun for other people to kind of like watch you play this game? Or?
I think there's a lot of silly moments just because of the friendly fire that'll lend itself to some funny videos of just people saying like, "Well, look what this idiot did," you know, or like, you know, for example, like at the very beginning when I was running around, I was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this guy, I'm gonna help you, I got your back," and then I chopped my own teammate's head off. So, you know, stuff like that can lend itself to other people watching and just being like, "Oh my god, you're so bad." But
I can definitely see like this game being like, for some reason, as soon as you said the word Dark Souls, I was looking at the gameplay, and if Dark Souls had a online component, I think it would not be too dissimilar to this, you know. But I think that at what point would you say, you know what, I need to play some Chivalry? Like what part of your day would you put this in? Would you put it in when you have like maybe 10-15 minutes?
now,
or
I would have to set a long time, because in order for me to feel like I actually got some good gaming out of this, I have to at least spend an hour and a half to get that next level and then get the new equipment. And, you know, if you don't play this game for a while too, I feel like the way that the game plays lends itself to kind of forget, because it's got a couple of button pushes, like you've got an alternate slash, you've got a main slash. So there's alternate moves, and then there's like different ways that you can use the weapons. And I don't know, it's something that you can pick up Call of Duty and then switch over to the Battlefield and kind of figure out how to play. This is something completely different that you'll have to spend some time getting used to. And I don't know. I probably won't be playing this game much. I see that I can spend my time playing other games that are much better than Chivalry Medieval Warfare.
Yeah, I think that it's good if you kind of like this kind of stuff, but the gameplay seems very shallow. The time putting into it doesn't seem very rewarding. And for people that don't have a lot of time on their hands to sit down and actually play this game, I mean, you gotta really like the source material that they're shooting from. The game right now, like you said, is $25 on Steam. I'd probably wait a little while. I mean, it looks better. You know, it has a lot of graphical upgrades. The dismemberments are still there. It has like different lighting effects and weather. But
yeah, and I picked it up whenever it was on special on PS3. So I picked it up for like $4, $5, something like that. Less than $10 for sure. And
right.
I thought it would have been a little different because I never really watched any videos, but I was like, well, you know, For Honor's coming out. Maybe this is like a good palate cleanser while I wait for Honor to come out and get into this medieval hack and slash type of game. But yeah, it just did not do it for me.
Okay, well, that's Chivalry Medieval Warfare, I guess.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us at Daddy Knows Best. I hope you enjoy our opinions. If you've got any questions or comments, please send us an email at the daddycast@thegamingmind.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. So,
and stay tuned for more videos, articles, video game related content on thegamermind.com. Take care, keep gaming. Take care, keep gaming.